Hello and welcome to Farming Simulator. I'm Andy, and this is a short episode where I show you how to use a software called Joy2Key, which you then can actually set the whole your tractor up with guidance steering mod, which makes much more realistic with auto steer and that sort of stuff. So I'm going to show you what I've done first in the Farming Simulator, and then I'm going to show you how to set it up. So we're here in the tractor. So we have guidance steering on, guidance steering mod on. So you can see it like this. So I'm just going to line it up, and then I'm going to press a button on the joystick, and it will start driving and lower itself and start itself. So check out what's happening with the seeder, and also what's happening on the top left corner with what's activated and when. So I'm just pressing one button, not a lot, but one on the joystick. So what happened was that I'm just going to stop it. Back it up. So what happened was that first you hear it intercepting the guidance steering line. The second thing it does is it starts driving. The third thing it does is lowers the implement, and the fourth thing is it starts the implement. So that happens quite fast during about 3/4 of a second. So I'll do it again. So intercept GPS, driving, lower, starts, and then it goes. And I was trying to figure out how to do this yesterday because I wanted something more realistic. If you had sort of an automatic steer on your tractor, then you could. And I've been watching a lot of videos online and being quite envious, to say the least, of how they do it in real life. They just sort of set it up and then start. They turn the thing, and they set it up, and it drives on its own. I was thinking maybe that's a way to do that in Joy2Key. Joy2Key is a brilliant tool, and I'm trying to get the most out of it, and I've been using it a lot. If you follow my channel, you know that I've been using it quite a lot, and so I was looking into how to set this up to make this work. So I'm going to show you how. So if I go out of the game, and I'm going to go, bear with me, let's see, it's screen, so to lower that. Okay, so here's Joy2Key. I'm going to set up a new file. New, we'll call that FS19 seeder auto steer. And then it's completely empty here. So, but you can see that if you do stuff on your joystick, it will show you things happening. So I'm gonna set up this point of view upwards as my auto steer engage in the whole thing. So if you go in here, you can just set. What I did before was, like I said, for instance, I press B, and then if I press B in the game, it will turn the seeder on. That. But there's also a feature here called on the keyboard 2. Press that, you have 4 things happening, and if you go down to execute input 1 to input 1 to input 4 in sequence at the specific duration, you press this, execute it, and the first thing we want to do is we want it to gauge the auto steer function, which is on my computer Alt X here. Next thing I want to do, I want it to start driving, which is number 3. That is the cruise control. So 3. The third thing I wanted to do is I wanted to lower the implement, which is Alt 1. If you do something where you right click on it and clear, and you're back to that. If you say I have Alt 1 because I have a mod installed, but you would probably use, if you don't have that mod installed, you will use V to lower the implement. And the third thing I do is fourth thing I do is turn it on, so B. I want all of this done within let's see, a second. If I want half a second, 500 milliseconds. Press OK. Now it shows up like this. So if I go in here and I do that, it will do everything. Actually, I'm going to slow it down so it's more visible. I'll do it 2 seconds. So 2000 milliseconds. So go in here and I press the up key, it will do it. So engage, auto steer, start driving, lower the implement and engage it. So now I had 2 seconds, so that's why it takes such a long time. So it will take a long time, and when then played around with different timing sequences. 750 milliseconds seems to be pretty good. I think that's okay. So because when you stop, it disengages, it's the same thing there. You could just stop brake and stop it, but then you have to turn everything off. So 2 seconds is a long time when you're gonna stop. So back here. So I found that 750 milliseconds is a bit realistic. Then it starts driving and before it lowers the implement and that sort of stuff. I still want to use, I can still set up other features. So if, for instance, I usually use this button to raise and lower it. So V. I use this button to engage the auto steer. So Alt X. Then you have to press Alt and then X there. And what else? I use this to engage the tool. What else? And then I could use this to engage cruise control. So now I have everything set up also manually, so if I want to I can flip that. Clever. So if I want to I could press one button to engage the auto steer, I could press this to engage, lower it, start it. So that's what I usually did before I started to do things in sequence. What I did was I pressed, so each time I wanted to drive this I had to press auto steer, lower, start, cruise control, or in whatever order. So 4 buttons I had to push, which was still a tremendous amount of better do it with joy to key, because then I could just do everything on my joystick. So I have this set up so I can actually do, because sometimes it gets messed up joy to key, so sometimes it doesn't really do the things it should do. So sometimes I have to do it manually, all the steps manually, which is quite easy with joy to key if you have it set up all as I usually do on the joystick. But then I have this one key that does everything. So the thing that makes this great is that a lot less work for doing these things. You need guidance steering mod. It's a cool mod. I'll put that in the description also. So and if you ever, it only turns things off and on. So if you ever do something, say I'm gonna show you. So it's driving here. See if I say turn, I could turn off steering mod, auto steer. If I now press the button for doing all the sequences, it will turn it on, stop, and it will still continue because it's got messed up where it is in its sequence. So I didn't think it would get that messed up. But as long as you iterate the point where you want to start, so in this case the implement is raised, you're aligned, it's turned off, then it will do everything in sequence. Lowered, drive. Since I'm using V, it will. You have to have the implement selected in the game for it to lower it. If you have the other mod I have doesn't need that, so. What else to say about this? So if I go here, so in this version I have here, I also actually can show you. Where is my auto steer? Where is it? So where I can see it. Loader. Disappeared. I didn't save it. Oh, sorry. Sorry. I should have saved it. Anyway, so in here I have the buttons which lowers and raises the implement is also set up so it does two things. It presses Alt 1, which is my game. In my mod it lowers it or raises it, and it turns it on. So instead of having to do both things, if say I'm doing this manually, in a normal state I would have to first turn it on and then lower it, turn it on. But here I just press one button to do both of those things, so that's it's quite an improvement. So if you want to do this manually, you don't have to press two buttons or two keys on the keyboard or whatever tool you're using, or steering control you're using. You can just set it up so it does one. So if I press just one button here, it will raise and turn it off. And I'll get around here. I'll press one button and it will lower and turn it on. So, which makes this a lot easier. I can still manually set it up to follow the line and then set cruise control. And when I get to the end here, I can just push the button that does everything and it will stop. Stop, and it will turn off auto steer. It will raise the cedar and turn the cedar off. So come here, do that, does everything. The only thing, it does continue to drive for some weird reason. I think that's some other mod, which I don't know why. So things, not everything works, and I'm not sure why. I need to figure out why it does that. I think it has something to do with turn on headland mode, and it's at like 3 or something. It will stop. But still, I don't know. It still drives. I don't know why. Odd. I'll figure that one out, maybe, or something else. I don't know why. Anyway, so enjoy the key. Link is in the description. You have to save it. It's important to save things. It's really cool. You can do lots of things, and here I have set buttons for. I can turn off and on the GPS. I can align the GPS line. Everything I can do. If it has a key command, which a lot of things in Farming Simulator has, then you can add it to your joystick. So everything will be in the description. Go check it out. It's a really cool tool. You definitely use it. It made a world to me. I've been have a Mac I'm playing on which needs a lot of turns and a lot of seeding, and it just makes it so much faster and more realistic, I might add. But it's really, really cool. So Joe the Key, check it out. Take care. Bye. And spread, please. If you like this channel, please subscribe. If you like this episode, please share it. Spread this. This is a really cool tool. Not farming simulator, but still you can use it for other stuff too. But it's really cool. So go check it out. Take care. I'm Andy. Bye bye.